morning, dear students. I'm really happy to be with you all online once again. It's after a long time that we meet. But today's class, as it is written here, is for class 10. So I request all the class 10 students to follow me, because the syllabus from now on would be strictly followed, and we will be a bit faster as far as the completion of the lessons is concerned. So I would be giving you a lot of homework, assignments. There will be a lot of questions to be answered. So keep following me so that you will be updated with all that is happening online. Right. As you see here, today's class is of class 10, or it is for class 10, and the title of the lesson is First Flight. First Flight. What do you mean by the word first flight? The experience of flying for the first time. Supposing somebody flies in an aeroplane for the first time, that would be his first flight. He's taking his first flight. Supposing a small bird which is just out of the shell, out of the egg, is learning to spread its wings and then take a flight, obviously that would be the first flight for the bird. Now, here we are going to learn about such a flight, the first flying experience of a bird. But before we learn about the first flying experience of the bird, let us learn something about, or let us reflect upon this word fear. Because if you don't understand what is fear, you won't understand this lesson. Fear. What is fear? Fear is a feeling that inhibits your growth. If you want me to put it in a very simple language, fear is nothing but a barrier to your progress. It is a hindrance to your progress. It is a kind of barrier or something that stops you from going ahead. It is something which drags you down so that you will not be able to kind of give your best. So fear is a barrier. Now, why do we discuss fear in this lesson? Because it has got something to do with a small bird who is learning to fly for the first time, or who is trying to take its first flight. You see, fear will not help you to progress. Fear is the only thing that you have to fear. A great man has said this, definitely he must have said this out of his experience. You have to fear only one thing in your life, and that is fear itself. Other than fear, you need not fear anything. So if you get this fear out of your mind, if you get this fear out of your inner being, then you are free to progress, because fear is a complex. Keep that in mind. Why do we fear? This is another important question. What makes us fearful? You see, we don't have confidence in ourselves. We don't believe in our potential. We don't believe in our strength. And therefore, a kind of discouragement or a kind of hopelessness sets in. So where there is hopelessness, there is fear. Remember, fear, hopelessness, lack of confidence, complex, inferiority complex, all these are related to one another. These are the byproducts of fear. So we need to get rid of fear. That is very, very important. Now, what is the weapon that you use to tackle fear? Fear is your enemy, definitely. But what is the weapon to attack this enemy? It is nothing but courage. So courage combats fear. Courage puts on a fight with fear, and courage is the only weapon to drive out fear from your heart. So, if you have courage, you gain confidence. Courage brings in confidence, fear brings in hopelessness. Remember this. It's a very important point to be noted. Courage brings in confidence, And fear brings in hopelessness. Fear brings in inferiority complex. Fear definitely is a negative feeling, most often, except for some occasions. Generally, it is considered as a negative feeling. So, negative feelings have to be thrown out because they are not going to help you in any way. Right. I am going to give you a very small example. All of you must have seen a giraffe. If you have not seen it live, at least you must have seen a giraffe on television, in some shows, Discovery Channel, and there are National Geographic Channel, and there are several other channels which focus on nature and environment. So if you watch some of the shows, you might have had an opportunity to see a giraffe. Okay. Now this giraffe gives birth to a calf. That is a baby giraffe. The moment the baby giraffe comes out of the mother's womb, it just sits flat. It is not able to stand on its feet. It's not able to walk. So it just sits down. Now what does the giraffe do? The mother giraffe. The mother giraffe gives a strong kick. A very strong kick. And after receiving that kick for once or twice, the baby giraffe starts standing. And then after that, it takes its first step. Do you remember the first time you walked? Do you have any memory of that? The first step that you took? Probably not. But when a baby takes its first step, when it starts walking, it does not walk straight. It is weak. Its legs are weak. They don't have a balance. So obviously the baby falls flat. And then the mother comes to the help of the baby. She picks up, she holds the hand of the baby, and the baby learns to walk. So the first attempt is not a successful attempt. Remember, success comes after trying several times. Okay. Now, the strong kick which is given to the baby giraffe makes the baby giraffe or the calf stand up and walk. Eagles. Eagle is a very important bird, remember, because it teaches us many lessons. If we have time, we shall have a discussion on that. But right now, you remember this point. You know, eagle gives birth to eaglets. The baby eagles are known as eaglets. You know, soon after the eggs are laid, they are hatched, and then the baby eaglets come out of the eggshell. But after a few weeks, the mother eagle, she removes the soft grass from the nest. And she also removes the soft feathers from the nest. Well, while laying the eggs, the mother eagle fills the nest with soft feathers, soft sticks, soft grass, everything that is soft. So, when the baby eaglet comes out of the egg, it feels quite comfortable. It feels very soft. The grass, the sticks, whatever it may be. But then, slowly, the mother eagle tries to remove the grass, the blades of grass, the sticks, and the soft feathers. It purposely does that, deliberately does that. Why does it do that? Does it not want the baby to feel comfortable? Is it not happy with the comfort of the baby? No, it's not that. It purposely removes the grass and whatever is soft there, the soft objects, so that the eaglet may start flapping its wings and fly out of the nest. So it teaches the baby eagle or the eaglet to fly by removing all the soft stuff that is in the nest. So the environment, it creates an environment for the eaglet to start flying. And therefore, the eaglet slowly takes its first flight. Do you remember the first time you ever cycled? Do you remember the first time you ever took a swimming class? I am sure you must definitely have fallen off from your cycle. You must have got yourself bruised. You must have got hurt. You must have fallen many a time. You must have got some kicks and knocks. But then you didn't give up. You started continuing your cycling, and as a result, you became a successful cyclist. The same goes for swimming. If you are a good swimmer, you might be able to remember your first experience with swimming. You must have gone down into water. You must have come to a stage of drowning. You must have drank a lot of water. Must have drunk. But then you didn't give up. You continued practicing, you continued swimming, and finally you learnt the art of swimming. So, there is only one point behind all these examples. The point is that to learn something and to achieve success, you need to pay the price for it, and you have to come across some barriers and some challenges or some obstacles, so to say. Without challenges, without barriers, without obstacles, there is no success. Remember this. I'll give you one more interesting story before we get into the lesson. There was a biology teacher who was teaching his students about the life cycle of a butterfly. So, what happened one day? He brought a cocoon. You understand the meaning of cocoon? The butterfly, the caterpillar turns into larva, and then finally its wings are developed, and then it comes out of the cocoon in the form of a full-grown butterfly. So what happened? The cocoon was kept there on the table, and the teacher told the students, don't try to open this cocoon. And after saying that, he left the class. You know what happened? Students are students. One of the students who was very curious, who was very inquisitive, who wanted to know what was inside the cocoon, he tore the cocoon. He tore the cocoon, and to his surprise, he saw a beautiful butterfly trying to come out of the cocoon. It was a full-grown butterfly. And after coming out from the cocoon, the butterfly stayed alive only for a few seconds. And after that, it was all over. The butterfly died. Now the teacher comes in, and he sees the condition of the butterfly and asks a question to the student, who opened the cocoon? Then the boy who did that was honest enough to say, sir, I did that. Why did you do that? Then the boy said, sir, I saw the butterfly trying to come out of the cocoon with great difficulty. It was struggling like anything. I couldn't tolerate the struggle of the butterfly. And therefore, I opened the cocoon, made it wide, and the butterfly came out with ease. Then the teacher asked, what happened after that? After that, the butterfly died, sir. Good. You made a mistake, he said. The mistake is that you did not allow the butterfly to come out of the cocoon by itself. That was a mistake. Now, how can you call this as a mistake? Until and unless the butterfly comes out of the cocoon all by itself, its wings would not be strong enough. So God has created the lifestyle or the life cycle of the butterfly in such a way that it automatically comes out, and in the process its wings become stronger. But you made the life easy for the butterfly, and the result was that it died immediately after coming out of the cocoon. So you see, learning every lesson in the hard way helps us to become strong and bold within ourselves. Every experience has to be learned in the hard way, not in the easy way. Because unless and until you receive some knocks, you receive some falls, you receive or experience some failures, you experience some difficulties, you won't be successful. There is no shortcut for success. Remember this. Right. Now, this is a very important term which is related to the lesson comfort zone. If you had listened to me very carefully, I explained what the mother eagle does for the baby eagles in the nest. It removes all the soft grass, it removes all the soft feathers and the soft stuff, whatever is there, so that the baby eagle or the eaglet comes out of its comfort zone and flap its wings and then begin to fly. So, the comfort zone is a hindrance for your progress. We always want life to be very easy, very comfortable. We run away from challenges sometimes. We try to hide ourselves from our responsibilities. We don't take challenges. We are not ready. We are not in a position to take up risks in life. We want to live in a comfort zone where life becomes easy and cozy. No. As long as you are in your comfort zone, you will not taste success. I repeat, as long as you are in your comfort zone, you will never achieve any success and you will never be mature and you will never learn anything out of your life. This is a point that we need to keep in mind. Comfort zone pulls you back. Comfort zone drags you back. It is a barrier. As I started the lesson, I told you, fear is a barrier to progress. And living in a comfort zone is a sign of fear. Fearful people, they don't want to come out of their comfort zones because they're afraid to face the challenges of life. So keep these points in mind before we get into the lesson. Now I'll just give a brief introduction of the lesson and then we finish off. We'll continue the rest in the next class. You see, this lesson, the first flight, is about a young or a baby seagull. You know what is a seagull? Seagull is a kind of bird which always lives near the sea. It hovers around in the sky over the sea and it always jumps into the sea water to catch fish. When fishermen start fishing in their boats, you can see the seagulls just coming down, picking up fishes of all kinds and then moving out. So, a seagull, from the very name, you can understand, lives near the sea. So, there was a baby seagull. There were brothers of this baby seagull. There were the parents of this baby seagull. So, it is a family of seagulls. So, a family of seagulls were living near the sea. And near the sea, there was a big ledge. L-E-D-G-E. So it is a narrow piece of rock. So the family of this seagull was living on that ledge and the baby seagulls were trying to fly and some of the baby seagulls with its mother had flown away from the ledge in order to gather their food. But only one seagull was left on the ledge. And that seagull, a baby seagull, was a frightened seagull. It was a frightened seagull. It was a coward, to be very kind of plain in the language. It was a coward. It did not have the courage to flap its wings and fly. So it was left on the ledge. But its brothers and sisters who had shorter wings than him, they had already begun to fly. So they had flown out of the ledge with their mother. But this baby seagull said, "Oh, I cannot fly now. I cannot fly because my wings are weak." You see, he came to a conclusion, a negative conclusion. He said, "My wings are weak, it will not be able to carry me." It did not know it had the capacity or the potential to fly. You see, complex. When you have complex within you, an inferiority complex, fear follows. So inferiority complex follows fear. And when you have fear, you start giving excuses. Remember, giving excuses is one of a dangerous sign which hampers your progress, which bars your progress. Giving excuses is a sign of running away from your responsibility. Giving excuses is a sign to live in a comfort zone. You give excuse and then you come to the comfort zone. So this small baby eagle started giving an excuse. I mean the seagull, not the eagle. The baby seagull started giving an excuse. What was the excuse? It was blaming the wings. My wings cannot carry me, therefore I will not be able to fly. Any person who does not want to taste success will give excuses. They are losers, not winners. And therefore, this baby seagull was filled with fear, started giving excuses, had a complex inferiority complex within itself. Now, my dear students, this lesson is full of messages. You can go on discussing this. Be aware. What is the moral of this lesson? At the end, you will come to understand. The first and foremost thing that you have to understand is be aware of your potential. You might be having some potential, and there is no human being in this world without a potential. Every human being in this world is blessed with a potential, is blessed with talents, is blessed with brain. So the brain that we have is the same. It all depends on how we utilize it. It all depends on how we put our brain into practice. So be aware of your talents, be aware of your potential. Doesn't matter. You may not be perfect in everything. You may not be good in all the subjects, but there might be some subjects which you are good at. That is your potential. Or you may not be good at studies. You might be good at something else, in painting, in running, in debating, whatever it may be. So, you cannot come to a conclusion that you are without potential. And if you don't understand your potential, you start giving excuses like this baby seagull. The baby seagull could not fly because it gave an excuse. Okay. There is a line in this lesson, but for the life of him. When you read the first passage or maybe the first two paragraphs, you will come across this expression, but for the life of him. What does this word mean? It's an idiomatic expression. The meaning is very simple. Though he tried hard, but for the life of him, he would not fly. Though he tried very hard. The meaning of this expression is that though he tried very hard, he was not able to fly. Okay. Now what happened to this baby seagull? Her brothers and sisters had already flown. Her mother had also flown to the other side of the sea. And he was left alone. The question is, what happened to him? Was he able to fly? Did he gather the courage? Who helped him to fly? And what did he or she do to make him fly? These are some important questions. We will be discussing that in the next class. We will go directly into the lesson and the discussion. Till then, stay home, stay at home and be safe. And for your home assignment, you read the first 2 pages of the lesson. I repeat, read the first 2 pages of the lesson, the first flight. You will get some idea as to what this lesson is all about. Goodbye.